I have a special guest. Hey, Sarah.
Hi, everybody. Hey.
Yes, Sarah just retired.
Yay! Retirement. It is the best. It's the best. Yeah. It is the best.
How many years?
Oh, just about 21. I was a second career teacher. I was freelance mostly in my life up until that point when I decided to become a teacher.
Okay.
And it was so it was like about, it was before 2003 because I worked part-time as a teacher before I took a full-time job, and then I went ahead and got my degrees so I could be a full-time teacher. But
You're really, really awesome, you know?
That's what people say. I don't know. It's hard being a teacher, people, but it is rewarding, so I think that's one thing.
You know, you put a lot of work, you know.
Yeah.
Being a teacher, it's a, big responsibility.
It's an enormous responsibility.
It's like it's like if you don't have any children, you know, it's like a second, you're basically like a second mother.
It's true.
You know?
Yeah, boy, I totally agree. You are like a second mother.
Yeah.
And
so much to go through.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Being a teacher, and you have to make sure that they're listening, and
yeah,
a lot of work.
Listening. They're learning.
Yeah,
it's so much, and this is what I was thinking when I got my degree. My master's degree is in the teaching of English.
Wow.
And when I started doing that, because before that I had I'm also fully certified as a theater teacher.
Right.
So that was my first path to certification was theater. And then...
how long you did theater?
Oh, gosh, a very long time. Of course, I'm only 25 years old, so but I've been doing it. Yeah. So, I went to school for theater and dance, and that was way back in the 70s. Okay. So then I graduated, and then I was performing and teaching for a very long time, and I worked with an organization called Hospital Audiences for 15 years before I became a teacher with the DOE.
Wow.
And
how you make out with that?
That was amazing. That was the best job ever because I was working with people who are recovering from mental illness. So I could be working with seniors, I could be working with children. Most of the time I was working with adults, but I was helping them to put on shows, teaching them about theater, but also singing. Like we would have musical groups, we would have sing-alongs, but then in every group there's always like a couple of standouts, people who really they've studied the songs, they've learned this, they've learned that. So then my job is really just about, how do we put these people on stage? How do we give them the confidence to perform in front of a big audience?
Wow,
a small audience.
Of work. That's a lot. Oh my God.
Well, it wasn't. I don't know. It was not difficult. But for example, I had one group at a residence that's called the Stepping Stone. And it's over, I believe it's still there. It's an adult residence.
I heard of that.
It's on Nevins Street between State and Skirmahorn in Brooklyn. And I had the same group. We would meet, I believe it was Thursday night, met every Thursday night for more than 10 years. Wow. So when you have such a long relationship with, similar to social work, although as a teaching artist, the people that we work with, we call them clients because they are invested in our services. So working with people, you become a big part of their lives.
Yeah, it's like, like going back like second parent, you know,
Again,
or auntie,
again.
you know.
Or a colleague, you know, a
Yeah,
colleague.
yeah.
Because we would write poetry together and plays together. I would learn about their lives. They would ask me about my life. They always wanted to see pictures of my kids or whatnot. And we'd just know each other for such a long time. And then rain or shine, winter, spring, summer, they could depend that I would be there on Thursday night. They were going to see me.
Wow,
So that was good. Yeah, so we loved each other and had a lot of, just a lot of really affirming times together.
I can imagine.
So, you know, so that was great because, you know, this was a time when you could understand if someone's mother died, if, you know, if they had a friendship.
Yeah,
They were dating someone and they broke up.
Wow.
You know, it could be
Very stressful.
yeah, so difficult for them. And to know that they were going to see, you know, they were going to see Sarah on Thursday night.
Right.
And sing some songs together, write some poems, you know, work together, do some theater exercises, have some laughs.
Wow. That's
It makes
really,
a big, big difference.
Yeah, it's like you're an inspiration to them. You know, they look up to you. Oh, wow. You can't ask for anything more than that. Oh, my goodness.
And you compare that to a job where you're pushing paper.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, when you're just checking off the boxes.
Yeah.
No, you know.
You take your job, like, really serious, you know? And that is really wonderful. You've been a teacher for, like, 20 years. You dedicate your life, you know? And it's really hard, you know, like, retiring, you know, and, you know, you have to leave, you know, all these young men and women behind, you know, and, you know, you're so used to, you know, being there and being a role model, like, for others, you know, not just teaching, you know, just the present alone.
Yeah.
You know, it's really, really awesome. And, you know, I know a lot of kids, oh my God, they're going to miss you so very much.
That is the hard part. And that was probably the hardest day.
For you, you
It's
know?
the day when I have to tell them because are you going to, you know, your own child, are you going to say, you know, okay, I'm not going to be here when you come.
No, how do you feel?
Oh, how do I feel?
Yes.
Well, you know, it is not, my past life has prepared me for this moment. This is what my daughter says. My daughter says, your past life has prepared you for this moment. Honestly, for me, I've already been a teacher for, yeah, as you say, more than 20 years because, you know, 15 years before that, teaching other people, not high school students, but yeah. So I've been a teacher for many, many years, and you know, you see a child go from 6th grade to 12th grade. You see a child, you know, you see your client, you know, from young adult into middle age or whatever it might be. So you know, it's a process and they're passing through. And eventually they're going to leave you. So it kind of wraps up with that moment when they graduate. You want to be there for them when they graduate. Or you want to be there for them when they perform the big school play. And then it's, you know, yay, you know, we all had a great time. So you definitely want to make memories. And I'm glad people are about doing that. But yeah, so for me, honestly, they stay with me because this is not a job, like I said, it's not a job like pushing paper. You know, people are not furniture. Children are not furniture. They grow up. They're real people that I had real relationships with, and they have changed me as well as me changing them.
I can imagine, you know, and
so that part stays. That part is not going to go away.
What
they have taught me, I still have. You know, so yeah. And you know, that is also a good thing about human nature, I think, because the bad stuff
Right.
It just kind of goes away. It dries up and it goes away. Oh
I
no, no, no.
know.
Yeah, you don't need to hold on to that stuff.
Right.
And it's in your nature,
Right.
if you're a healthy person, to let that stuff go. You know.
And another thing, I know I was the PTA president one time,
Wow.
at your school, and,
Yeah. At
I was saying, on my last podcast, how, when, you call the parents, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it's so sad, like, being a teacher, you need that support.
Yes.
You need the support.
Parents,
and
try to understand. Try to stand
Yeah.
in the teacher's shoes for a second.
Yeah, and really like, you have PTA meetings and, you think the parents will show up, and it's like, probably like 5 or 6 parents, and as a teacher, you feel, and, as a PTA president, you're doing your job. You feel like, forget, I have kids and you have kids.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, like, wow. You feel really bad, like, for the children, the parents, so, but that's another thing. That's why, you guys, heroes, warrior queen, all right now. Like a second parent again,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
everything. And you have a radio station as well, right?
Well, I have a show on WBAI 99.5 FM. I work with an organization called Gays Against Guns.
Yeah.
And they work to reduce gun violence. And we work with groups like Save Our Streets. We work with Youth Over Guns. We work with Change the Rep, March for Our Lives, Moms Demand Action.
Wow.
Brady, Giffords, there's so many organizations now that are working to reduce gun violence.
Really awesome. Wow.
We're going to really make a difference. I am so committed. I know, because I know people are despairing now because it's been getting very, very bad.
Yeah.
The last 10 years,
Oh my
last 20 years, but the last 10, it's been getting more and more desperate, and our leaders have done nothing.
Nothing.
We could get nothing passed in Washington, D.C. In Albany,
It's a
we're
shame.
lucky we're in New York, because in New York, last 5 years, yes,
Oh, okay.
we've been making some
Like
movement, and there's
progress.
been some systemic changes that, yeah.
Okay.
But
wow.
with gun violence, it is not just a matter of laws, of, obeying the law or breaking the law.
Right.
It is a matter of between people. Because if you don't feel safe, and many students, unfortunately, have told me this, they say, I need a gun for protection. And you're like,
How you feel when they say something like that?
I feel like, I'm so sorry that you are so afraid of someone else and that you feel this way.
Yeah.
Because when I walk down the street, most of the time, I feel safe. If it's dark and I'm in the wrong neighborhood and I'm lost, I'm going to feel scared. But most of the time I feel safe because I don't have to worry that someone is looking for me, someone who might have a weapon that wants to harm me.
Right.
So this is very often the impulse that causes people to get an illegal gun, buy a real gun. I mean, some guns are more readily available than others, but it's pretty hard to get a gun in the city. But unless you know somebody, and you get an illegal gun, and that is a possibility for any of us. So unless you are going to treat the root causes that cause people to threaten each other, right? How are you going to get rid of gun violence? Because
it's never going to happen.
Because people, if they're afraid, if they're angry, if God forbid they had a family member who was killed, and this is where especially the young ones, because the young ones, they don't have the kind of thinking like what's going to happen to me if I
Exactly.
go out and get revenge
Right.
on my family member's killer.
Yeah, and you have people, like, you, even your own friends that set you up, you know?
Yes.
Because my nephew, you know, may he rest in peace, you know, he was good down, you know, with gun violence, you know, gangs
Right.
and everything. They shot him, you know, his old friends, you know, they set him up.
Can we say his name?
Lorenzo, you know,
Yeah,
and
Lorenzo.
he was like really a sweet person to know, you know. You know, he wasn't perfect, you know, nobody perfect, but nobody, you know,
Nobody
no need to
deserves to
be taken
die for
down,
it.
not to be, you know,
You shouldn't
die.
get the death penalty because
Exactly.
you made a mistake.
Come on, you know.
Or you disrespected someone. Or you broke someone's heart. You know, none of those are capital punishment offenses.
Exactly. Remember they used to fight with their hand before, you know,
That's
but
right.
even
And
that
that's
is not.
even that it can be, yeah, but you have a chance to recover, learn your lesson and recover.
Yeah.
But these guns,
It's like crazy.
oh, let's say this. Do you know that as of today, there is a new national hotline for mental health problems? And it is 988, people.
Wow.
If you call 911, you want the police or the fire.
Right.
But if you call 988, you want a mental health professional, and maybe EMT will come, but they know it's a 988 call. Your daughter will tell you about this. They know it's the 988
I never
call.
heard of it. Wow.
It's brand new. It's a national thing. It's brand new. This is a really good thing that our leaders are doing for us, finally. It's too late, but it's too late for many. But, you know, we have future generations who are going to be safer because of 988. So this means that, you know, so-and-so, God forbid, they forgot to take their medication. Now they're threatening to kill themselves or someone else, right? This is a desperate situation that happens too many times in America every single day.
Every
day.
minute of an hour.
Yes, somewhere in our gigantic country, this is happening. Somebody is threatening someone else or they're going to harm themselves, okay? You can call 988, and the first person who shows up on your door is not going to be a policeman with a gun pointed at somebody.
That is
It's going to be a person dressed in the white, hopefully, the EMT, and they're going to be saying, "How can I help? How do we stay safe? How can we help keep you safer?"
right. Oh wow.
And they're going to be trained. They're a trained person to deal with this person who's threatening to harm themselves or harm someone else. And that alone is going to save lives. That's a big, big deal.
Wow, that is really awesome.
Yeah.
That's wow.
So we love that because we know that's gonna help people. But yeah, the root causes. This is not something just like hatred. Unfortunately, diseases and some other things. These are not things that we could just write a law and say, oh, okay, COVID is not allowed, and it's going to go away like magic.
No,
this is not going to happen.
Not at all. It takes a lot of work, you know.
A lot of work.
If we work together, like as people, you know, and we can probably like save someone's violence, like, you know, try to help one another, try to love one another, you know. Sometimes people, you know, they go through things in life and you really, really don't know, like, what they're going through. You know, you have to act.
Yeah.
You know, you have to act, and your neighbors, you know, your friends, you know, try to interact, you know.
Yes.
I think that's a big part.
You know, I mean, a person could not just need groceries, maybe. They just need groceries. That's what they need, and that'll get them through. But instead, they're thinking about ending their life. You know, they just need groceries. They don't want to ask again.
Right.
They just need that, but they're but they have a gun handy. No. No, this is why it's very dangerous to even have a gun in your home, because did you know that more than 2/3 of the people who die from gun violence in this country are suicides? The overwhelming number are suicides, not homicides, even though we're afraid.
Yeah, that's really sad.
It's
Really, really sad, you know.
Yeah.
And I think more has to be done, you know. Really more have to be done. Like, it's too much killing.
Yes.
You know, too much killing. You know, too much guns on the street. And I think, you know, going back to the parents, I think they should, like, examine the household, you know, and to, you know, talk to your kids and to search your household, you know. You gotta
Yes, you
search
should know. You should know.
Yeah, you have to search the household.
Yeah, you should know what's in the closets and the drawers. I mean, you know, no, of course you want to give your kids privacy as much as possible.
Well, not today. It's not like I'm growing up, you know. No,
Right.
not today. You have to be, like, really, like...
But ask them, too. You know, do you ever know anybody who's brought a gun to school? Because it could be happening and you don't even know it.
Right.
And a lot of times they will tell you. They will tell you. You know, yeah, kids like to keep secrets too, but if you ask and you let them know that they're not going to get in trouble just for telling you the truth.
Right, but some kids know they're not going to tell. They're really not going to tell, you know.
Sometimes, I know.
Yeah, sometimes, but, you know, it would be good if they, you know, tell, you know.
To the best of your ability, at least try.
Right.
You know?
You have to. You know, they come back down to bullying, you know?
Right.
You know, that's part of, you know, people being bullied as well in the school.
Bullying.
You know, and a lot of people, you know, go back to the mental health, you know, like talking about, you know, sometimes people, you don't know that, you know, they really, like, going through it, and, you know, they take it upon themselves to, you know, take something good and do a lot of things that they do, a lot of shooting. You know, because a lot of people, like, been shooting and all this killing, they all had a mental problem, you know?
Sure.
And the program that you have, you know, helping them, you know, what's the name of the program?
Well, Hospital Audiences is the organization that I worked with for many, many years, and they had a whole group of teaching artists that would go to the residents and conduct programs.
I think that's really good because some people, you know, they don't want to tell people their business, you know, and they really, like, shy or whatever, but, you know, going to the home is really awesome. It's really, really great. You know?
But it's also great for people, a lot of people, especially people who are mentally ill or who suffer from mental illness and they're recovering, but they are intimidated by new places, and then also they might have a limited ability to travel. So one of the things that Hospital Audiences is famous for is taking their bus, going to the residents, and taking a whole busload of people to go see a Broadway show. You know, to go to the zoo. You know, really do something really fun. And so that's another thing about HAI. But that was all before McKinney. That was all before Department of Education.
I know.
Is this a little angel pin you have on there?
Yes, it is.
Well, tell us about that angel pin. Where did that come from?
My angel pin, I brought it yesterday.
Yes, I got it yesterday.
I saw it.
It's brand new?
It's like, yeah, it's brand new.
Oh.
It's like, my angel is
Your
watching
angel.
over me.
Yeah.
So it reminds me of my angel
Yeah.
that is keeping me, like, through the trial and tribulation, that I've been through, and, even what I'm going through, and, I feel, we all, like, in some way, have mental problems. We all need help. Like, going through, like, what I've been through, like, all the cancer, my
Yes.
personal life, and, even you as a teacher, like, over 20-something years, it's like, like I said, we all need help,
Oh, yeah.
and, I think people shouldn't, feel no way of getting help,
Right.
feel no shame, because
Yeah.
it's not.
And also, you shouldn't assume from the way a person looks, or maybe even the job that they have, or whatever is going on, however they might look, you should not assume that everything is perfect in their lives, nor that everything is terrible in their life
Exactly.
based on how they look.
Yeah.
Because these things, I will say, I don't know if I shared this with you before, but my older brother, took his own life, and that was when that was when our first daughter was born, and she was just a few months old. So I was still nursing her when my mom called to tell me that my brother had taken his life. And he did not die from gun violence, but there are other very effective ways to end your life. And he had many attempts to try. So that really affected me as a young person. It really shook me up.
I can imagine, like me, losing my first born, losing anybody in general.
Oh, right.
It's really hurtful,
Yes, 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 yes.
Your mom, your grandma, it's, it's like supported.
Yeah.
People that support or somebody that you look up to,
Yes.
And it's really hard, and it's like, even my nephew, Lorenzo, the one they kill, through gun violence, it's really hard, going through certain situations in life. And the people that love you, is no longer there for you, And, it's like not easy, but
Yeah.
I think for us, a family, and friends, like you,
Yeah.
very much. And I thank you so much, for coming on, sharing the story, to being here, being inspiration to me as well. Sarah,
I gotcha.
she edited my book, Pastor Salama, Warrior Queen, and you did an awesome job, and I appreciate it.
I did the best job I could.
Yes.
But you wrote the story, and it's your life. So, I was always trying to put you in charge.
Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Hard work that we put together. Yeah.
So we're going to come back home. We're going to wrap it up.
Okay. All right.
Everybody, until then, bye-bye.
Okay. So long, everybody. We'll see you again. Take care.